cultural landscape. So my presentation for tomorrow will be more about what it means and kind of introduction. It means that we will talk about what's the cultural landscape is, what's the heritage is involved in the way of the transformation of cultural landscape. Also, I will explain how cultural landscape is defined, how it relates to cultural heritage, how cultural heritage is conserved and transformed, and a little bit I will talk about industrial heritage. I will be more theoretical, but I will try to present also some specific cases of transformed heritage and transformation in cities in a way of creation of different urban cultural landscape. So I will be just like half theoretical and half practical, and I will be happy that this kind of introduction will show you more and will be interesting for students from different areas, not only from culture studies, but also from architecture, from European studies, and so on. So this is our topic for tomorrow.
Thank you very much, Jana. If I may just ask you just one more very small thing. Could you please just say where you are from and where you are located right now? And could you just say a few sentences about Bańska so that we all have the idea about because I will ask Paola and Jan as well to just to say a few words, or Patricia, I don't know.
Okay, so I'm right now in Slovakia. It's in the Central Europe. I am in Banská Bystrica. We usually say that it's the heart of Europe, so I hope so. So we are in the central Slovakia, Banská Bystrica, a city with a long historical traditions and kind of very specific urban landscape. So maybe tomorrow or on Friday we will tell you more about our city. We are not very big city. We can say that we are better. We can say it's town. It's not a city, but in terms of Slovakia, it's the sixth largest city. So I can say that it's. Our university is middle-sized. We are focused on different research areas. It means that there is you can study here economics, law, human sciences, social sciences, and so on, languages, so on. So you are welcomed if you want to come one day for Erasmus Day to Banská Bystrica, because we have students from different parts of the world and so on. So I will be happy to see you, and I know that maybe you have never heard on our city, but it's for you chance to get in touch with us and to discover more. So that's maybe just very briefly introduction, because I have not been prepared for such a question. So I hope I answered.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Now I would like to ask Joanna Leszkov. So Jana and Bańska would be responsible for the lecture tomorrow. And also I would like to use this chance to welcome Vera, who is somewhere there, who's the professor from Bańska Bystrica as well. Hello, Vera. Great to have you on board with us. And now, if I may ask Joanna Leszko to tell us a little bit where she's located right now, or maybe the sentence where she's from is not super appropriate for the moment. But Joanna, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm Joanna Leszko. I'm researcher at the Deusto Cities Lab Chair from the University of Deusto. We are in Bilbao. Bilbao, it's a city like a middle-sized city in the north of the Spain, in the Basque Country. Our city is recognized for an integral transformation from the city in the urban aspect, in the social aspect, economical and environmental aspect. In the lecture that we are organizing from the Wednesday lecture, the lecture will be given by Roberto San Salvador del Valle. He's a professor of the Faculty of Social and Human Science from the University of Deusto. I'm sorry, and the subject of the lecture will be city heritage and leisure tourism preserve and put in value. The purpose of the presentation that Roberto will do will be a reflection of these issues through a specific case. The case of the city of Bilbao, this transformation that I told. So this is our lecture, and we will be very glad that to receive all you in Bilbao, and will be a pleasure be with you in this summer school. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Thanks a lot, Jana. So we basically have the ideas of 3 places. I did not present Krakow, but maybe there would be some more time later on to present it. And now I would like to ask Professor Paola Rizzi or Professor Patrizia Montuori to present the part of L'Aquila. And then I would ask definitely Professor Paola Rizzi to tell us more about what simulation games are and how they will be carried out. Okay, Paola?
Yes, I don't know if Patrizia and Professor Montori and Professor Di Ludovico are there, because actually my name is Paola Rizzi. I'm the coordinator of CHIC project in L'Aquila, but actually I am in Switzerland, so I'm talking from Ticino. My colleagues from L'Aquila are Professor Patrizia Montori and Professor Donato Di Ludovico. I don't know if I can share quickly, I don't know, my screen. Is it possible? So it will be easy to just to show you what what we are going to do.
Yeah,
I will try. If it's not possible,
it should be. I think it should be possible, but of course you can upload it to the files so that everyone can see it. But I think it should be possible for you to share the screen.
Okay, it seems not from my computer. It doesn't matter. Desktop. Let's say. No, it's too, let's say, it's too late, it's too slow. So I'm just going to tell you what we are going to do.
Can we see you, Paola? Is it possible that we see your face, please?
Yes. Yes, sorry. This is what we are going, and we can see Professor Montori there. I don't know if Professor Di Ludovico is there, but what we are going to talk is about L'Aquila as a city from transformation to transformation, because it's a city that is under reconstruction during the pandemic. So it's a specific topic, and maybe Patrizia can say something more. We are going to have 5 different lectures. In the Thursday, there will be Professor Patrizia Montuori talking about this subject, and then Professor Di Ludovico that will explain something more about spatial planning and cultural heritage after the disaster, the case of L'Aquila. This afternoon, we are going and to record, of course, the Walking in the City, the L'Aquila, a walk with Dr. Federico Dascani about, so we will share with you the video about it. And then we have 2 special lectures, one by Professor Lucia Patrizia on cultural heritage approaches, pre and post disaster. She is from UCL and she is an historian. And from architect Barnaby Gunning, that is from London, that is, let's say, how we can reclaim the city using different technologies that are more on the side of the user, the consumer. As you know, starting from tomorrow, we are going to, let's say, to have with me a sort of introduction to a specific technique that is urban gaming simulation. And we are going to try, this is a tentative, an exercise that we are going to do, all the students, all the participants with me, to design an urban gaming simulation related to, let's say, how to handle within this problem in the city. I will leave if Patrizia wish to say something. For me, it's enough, and I'm really thankful to be here with you.
Yes, good morning to all. The presentation of Professor Rizzi is clear, but I want to say something more about L'Aquila, because the study we will make is about a city in transformation after an earthquake of 209, and now after the pandemic that is in all the world, and we want to study this interesting case in all the aspects about the people, the inhabitants, and the place, the historic place of the city in this year. This the program. This is the program of the unit of L'Aquila about this transformation. We are in the team, in L'Aquila team. We have another person, Seren. I don't know if she want to say something. A PhD student in Department of Civil Engineering and of L'Aquila. I don't know if Seren want to say something or say ciao to all.
We can leave, I think, to the presentation of the students, so we can introduce also the tutors, because Seren is a tutor of the students, like Laura Pistida, that cannot be here today.
I don't know if Professor Di Ludovico want to say something about the lesson, the presentation.
Maybe just.
Yes, yeah. Only a few words. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Donato Di Ludovico. I'm an professor of urban planning and urban design, and my lesson is on spatial planning in a city, in the city of L'Aquila. The city of L'Aquila is a medieval city with a big historical center with very important from historical world. And my lesson is on the a lack of spatial planning of the cultural heritage, because after the earthquake, the city have not a phase of planning. In the, when we have a big city with a big historical center without a plan of cultural heritage, and for me it's a problem. It's a problem that I explain during my lesson. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. For us, Lucia is all. So I don't know if we want to introduce someone else. Lucia?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you very much. Thank you, L'Aquila team, for introducing yourselves. We will just in a minute, we will have some more very brief introductions. But just one comment that I wanted to make is that because it's very impressive, obviously, what we are presenting right now, each of the partner universities, and we will do every effort to be able to share the results with everyone, because unfortunately what we are not able to do is the sort of the most important thing that we'd like to offer, which is the personal experience of the city spaces, but this is the only thing that we can't offer in the pandemic world, so and in the pandemic year. So what we may do is we may try to discuss some things together, and then we will hope that we will all continue with some kind of explorations and study visits during the afternoons, and we are going to share, and hopefully I hope that we can record as many lectures as possible, so that they could be shared among the participants. Just one more thing that I wanted to mention is that this is we may consider this summer school to be the kind of our own research. And in my discipline, which is social anthropology and sociology, there is a great tradition that whenever you start your field research, you also start your field diary. And a field diary is a way of noting and recording all the things that happen on the way. So the things that happen on the way are some I can see there's Petra who I'm admitting, sorry. So what I would like to ask everyone to do is I would like you to get a habit of taking notes of your discoveries and of your findings on the way, so that later on when we meet on Friday, we can somehow relate to the process of you learning new things and exploring new topics and new subjects. And we will come back to it, but also it will be, or it has already been discussed locally with your tutors. And I know that there are some different ways of recording these days. But what I'd like to propose and what I'd like to ask everyone is that I would really love you to take notes on the way, apart from the final projects that we will discuss locally.
Veď ja viem, veď už som vás videla, kedy minulý víkend ste na ňom boli. No.
I think, yeah.
A ako sa vám jazdí? Dobre, nie?
Yeah, I think I need to try to get the silence of all the microphones. That I see that there is some mic working. Okay, so anyway, this is basically it for me. And now this is the moment for very brief introductions of our participants. So I would like to, if you may show up and show your face and just say your name, where you are from, and very briefly, if you could just say one sentence of your expectations from the summer course, or what you'd like to achieve, what you hope to achieve, what you'd like to do, or the reason why you are here with us. And we really have like half a minute for presentation of each of the participants. So please keep to the time, and I would like to ask everyone to very briefly present themselves. And I'm going to ask the people who I can see on my screen as participants. And so if we could start with Antonella. Antonella, are you there?
Yeah.
Hello? Okay.
Antonello.
Antonello, okay.
I would like to ask to our students if they compose their own video. Because we were Marco, Marta.
Yeah, I've composed the video.
Could you launch it? Could you launch it? So, hello,
yes.
Marco Ricuti is one of our...
Hello, I need just 2 minutes. So maybe
if we can go ahead and with everybody, and then we will launch a video of our presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry for that.
Okay, great. So, then could I think there is the Italian team that I can see all the way up, but then I can see some Polish names. So Philippe Wabuda, could you please present yourself and just say where you're from and what your expectations are? Could we see you, Philippe? Are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Can we see you as well, or we can't?
Let me just turn on camera. Okay, can you see me?
Yeah,
No.
hello.
Okay, hello, I'm Filip. I'm from Krakow. I'm a student at the Jagiellonian University, and I am at the second year of European Studies. I'm interested in mostly in intangible heritage of Krakow city. And from this project, what are my expectations? Well, I think I would like to get to know a little bit more about other cities and compare them between themselves. And I think, what should I say else? I think that's it. Usually. Okay, thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Philippe. I don't know if the L'Aquila team is ready to launch their video. Are you, Marco? Are you? If not, then yeah, maybe. What I can see here is Żana. We've already seen you. Wojtek Hyn. If are you there? Oh, he's not here with us. I think he got Józefa Pewczykowa.
Maybe I will ask.
Yeah,
can
please.
I ask?
Yes,
Maybe,
yes, Jana.
Maybe Victoria, because I can see her. So
Okay.
I will ask her to present, maybe. Victoria.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Victoria. I'm from Ukraine, but I'm studying in Slovakia and Banska Bystrica in European Culture Studies. I expect of this project to know about a new country or new city. It's very big chance to learn something new for me, because I'm from Ukraine, and I want to know the more for my magister study, and maybe I'm going to Erasmus. I don't know. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Dr. Vera Kresakowa, could we just see you so that we know that you are here and we could see your face? And
hello, Ludzka. I wanted to say hello I wanted to greet everyone after you introduced me, but you were fast and you skipped to some other idea to talk about, so I didn't want to interrupt you. So hello to everyone, and I'm glad that we can experience this form of summer school. But what I keep repeating to my colleague Janka Pecnikova, that I'm really sad that I couldn't have visit and I couldn't have learn personally about all the cities, all our participants, about their cities, about their form of transformation and whatever. So, but hopefully, yeah, I know, it was just expressing my feelings. Of course, I'm looking forward to be this week together, at least online.
Yes, thank you, Vera. Thanks a lot. I think I think you've expressed very well what we are all feeling, and it's really a shame, and obviously it's far from what we had imagined. That and you know that the weather is great, and we would really love to host you here in Krakow. So I'm sure there will be another opportunity at some point.
I hope so. I hope so.
Cool. Thank you, Vera. And then I think Daniela Malisova, I don't know, are you there? I can see someone with that name. Yeah, Daniela. Hello. Could you just?
Hello. So my name is Daniela Malisova. Nowadays, I'm student of doctoral studies at the Maciej Bell University in Banska Bystrica. And my expectation, I would like to get something new about our cities, about our history, and of course about the current situation in our cities. So That's my expectation. Thank you. Have a nice day, everyone, and have a nice summer.
Great, thanks. Nice to see you. And now I can see Marco, but I don't know. Are you ready to launch the video? Great.
Yes,
So
yes, we're ready. It's a video of 7 minutes where we present ourselves, and this.
Marco, I don't know if there is sound, but we can't hear anything.
No? Okay.
I think you need to, before you share your screen, you need to click this thing that you want to share the sound to or something like that.
Okay. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I found it. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Paola Rizzi. I am professor of urban planning and design. I'm an urban planner, and I'm teaching actually at the University of Sassari. I'm director of Diversity Urban Lab. And I hope that we will have the chance to work together along the summer school on urban gaming simulation applied in the cultural heritage. I hope that you enjoy the school. See you in the next.
Hi, I am Patrizia Montuori. I'm an architect, PhD in retraining and recovery of urban heritage, and adjunct professor at the Department of Civil Engineering, Building Architecture and Environment of the University of L'Aquila. I am the coordinator of L'Aquila unit of CHIC Summer School. My scientific activity focuses on history of contemporary architecture and the city.
Hi, I'm Donato Di Ludovico, PhD and Associate Professor of Urban and Landscape Planning at the Department of Civil Construction, Architecture and Environmental Engineering at the University of L'Aquila. My research field concerns new forms of spatial and strategic planning, urban planning and design, urban and territorial safety protection and regeneration, civil protection planning, knowledge digital platform. Currently, I'm the departmental Erasmus coordinator, university mobility manager, director of the urban laboratory for the reconstruction of L'Aquila of the National Institute of Urban Planning, scientific responsible of territorial and environmental analysis laboratory of the University of L'Aquila, member of the university spin-off DREAMS, Diagnostic, Retrofitting and Innovation in Material, coordinator of the first level specializing master courses, post-disaster technical administrative management of local authorities, and member of the National Institute of Urban Planning. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jalan and I'm an architect, and also I'm PhD student University of L'Aquila and tutor of this beautiful activity. I graduated from Turkey and I'm Turkish, and also I did master degree in Venice, of course, in Italy, and then I did master second level University of La Sapienza, the recovery of the historical building and public spaces. But I want to say, L'Aquila, it was my first stay in Italy. And I met L'Aquila immediately after the earthquake 2009. It means I know this beautiful city approximately 10 years, and I could say I witnesses all this process of change in this long term. I will be happy to share my experiences and work together. Hope to see you soon. Bye.
Hello everyone, my name is Carla Di Lallo. I'm studying architectural engineering at the University of L'Aquila. I am close to the end of my study course as I'm currently working on my final dissertation in architectural restoration. So the topics and the talks about cultural heritage are really among my greatest interests. So I feel really happy and pleased to join this international group after another international experience of 1 year in Erasmus. I really missed the international environment. So I'm thrilled to start, and I'd like to say thank you to anyone who made all of this possible. Thank you, everyone.
Hi everybody, my name is Federico Eugeni. I currently am a PhD student here in L'Aquila. My research interests are data-driven and data-oriented urban and territorial planning. I'm always happy to meet new people, and I'm looking forward to share this amazing experience with you all. See you soon. Bye.
Hi, good morning to everyone. I'm Antonello Pietrangeli and I'm a student of architectural engineering at University of L'Aquila. I'm attending the last year of the course, and for my final thesis, I'm working about the theme of pre-disaster planning. I consider myself fairly determined to achieve goals, and I prefer to set myself many goals, and for reason my days are usually very hectic. In my free time, I love practice a lot of sports and travel around the world. In the international field, I took part in 4 Erasmus mobilities: Spain, Sweden, Turkey, and France. And I was also a delegate of the Italian Football Federation in international competition. I'm very happy to start this summer school and share and comfort with you my knowledges and my skills.
Hi everyone, I am Camilla Salve. I'm a construction architectural engineering student from the University of L'Aquila. I'm about to finish my last year of university, and I'm really interested in urban planning and urban design. I've studied for 2 years as an Erasmus student in the University of Dresden in Germany, and thanks to that experience, I had the opportunity to take part in many workshops and to meet and work with a lot of international students. So I'm ready for this new experience.
Hello everyone, my name is Marco Ricchiuti and I am a construction architectural engineering student at the University of L'Aquila. I'm really passionate about town planning and urban design. I like dealing with foreign students, having done 2 years of Erasmus in Dresden and Seville. I speak fluent Italian, English and Spanish and a little bit of German. I decided to participate in this workshop because I like to get involved and collaborate with other students in international projects. I hope we will have fun and learn new things.
Hello everyone, I'm Marta. I'm a student at the 5th year of Construction Architectural Engineering of the University of L'Aquila. I spent 2 years abroad in Germany to study. So when I first heard about this workshop, I got really excited because I know how enriching and interesting those international experiences can be, and especially about the topics that really interest me, so urban planning, city planning, and cultural heritage. So I'm really looking forward to work together, and I can't wait to start.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Marco, and thank you for presenting. So as we have still some minutes, because I would like to thank you very much the team from L'Aquila. If I might just ask Ms. Olga Barczewska, I can see you are there. Could we just see you? I think you are in Gdańsk, are you?
Yes, hello. I'm so sorry because I cannot turn on my camera because I have really unstable internet connection today. I will try to work on it for tomorrow. A few words about myself. Yes, I'm currently in Gdańsk, in Poland. However, I study at Jagiellonian University. I'm in my 2nd year of studies. I'm studying international culture, and what I would like to gain from these workshops, from the summer school, is basically knowledge and new perspectives on how I can look at cities and experience my travels. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now I would like to ask Professor Paweł Kubicki to present himself very briefly. I think we are in the same city at the moment.
Hello, my name is Paweł Głowicki. I'm a professor of sociology at Center of European Studies, Jagiellonian University. In this summer school, I'm especially focusing on transformation of post-industrial heritage, on the case study of one of the district of Kraków called Grzegórzki. Tomorrow I give a short lecture and a short study trip in this district, and I will be analyzed with the students the relation between revitalization and gentrification of this district and post-industrial heritage in Kraków. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, and I hope we can somehow get the recording of your tour tomorrow. I don't know how we're going to do it, but maybe just a couple of words we could record so that we could have a look at these aspects that you will be presenting. Okay, thanks a lot, Paweł. And now I would like to ask Piotr Kuczak. Could you please present yourself very briefly and to say who you are and why you're here?
Hello, everyone. Can you see me?
Yeah. Hi.
Hello, my name is Piotr. I'm a second-year student of European Studies at the Jagiellonian University of Kraków, just like my colleague Filip. And I'm really interested in cities in general and how other city dwellers are dealing with this whole COVID stuff. So I am really interested in this whole project, and I can't wait to learn new stuff.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot. I think I can see Ivana Pondelikova on my list here. Ivana, could you just say hello to everyone if you were there?
I cannot see her. I'm sorry. Maybe she is not here.
All right.
No.
So we have, I think we have one more person, Władysław Potyczny. Are you there? Could we see you, and could you just present yourself if you are there? Because I understand we are having some issues with connecting and disconnecting. Władysław Potyczny, are you there? Okay. Is there anyone? Yeah. I hope that at least you can see us, because I can see that you are there somewhere. So what we will do right now is I would like to close the introduction session right now, unless there is someone else who would like to say hello. And from this moment on, we would start off with the program. Today, the topic of the day is identity and memory. This is the very general topic, and we have consciously chosen it to be the first topic of the summer school, not only because it can be seen as very general, but also because it gives us a certain perspective of making space significant. So in a lecture in a couple of minutes, we are going to look at the construction of the space of the city. And it's going to be the opening lecture. Now, the lecture will take 45 minutes, and then you will have 15 minutes to ask your questions or exchange your comments. And yes, and then we would have at 11 we would have the coffee break, and this is where you will meet with your local tutors, or you will be in contact with your local tutors that would organize the rest of the day today, and then you will learn more from your local tutors, from us in terms of Kraków, from me, and from my colleagues that would have their daily tasks and daily tours. And tomorrow we will start off at 9 with the first lecture that would be delivered by Jana, by Professor Dr. Jana Pecznikowa, and then later on at 10 we would have the first gaming simulation with Professor Paula Rizzi. Now, just one very technical question to Paola. For everyone who knows nothing, just like me, about gaming simulation, should we prepare anything, or what we should expect from the training that you are going to deliver tomorrow and in the following days?
No, you don't have to be. You have to be ready to play and to reflect and to understand how to use these instruments in the city. No, nothing else. You don't need to read anything about it.
Okay, thanks a lot.
It will be easy.
It will be easy. I hope we're going to enjoy it. Okay, great. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everybody. And now we would have, if there are no more questions or comments right now, we just need 1 minute for a technical reason to switch to the lecture. And so I'm going to, I think we should have like 2 minutes to get a glass of water or a cup of coffee. And then I would invite Professor Zdzisław Mach to take floor and to hold the lecture, the opening lecture of our summer school. So thank you again, thank you all, and I'm very glad we are here. I'm really super grateful for your participation, and I would like to also first of all say a big thank you to my colleagues who are who are here with me organizing this summer school and being here in this project. Thank you, and I will okay, and in a minute we will turn to the lecture by Professor Mach.
Hello, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? Can someone confirm that I can be heard?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Okay, great. Yes. Thank you very much. My name is Zdzisław Mach. I'm professor. Oh, Paula, hello. I'm a professor of European Studies, Sociology, Anthropology here in Kraków. My task today is to introduce the subject, the topic. I'm sure you're familiar with it already, but I would like to draw your attention to some issues related to social and cultural construction of urban space seen as a symbolic space, symbolic reality, and how it is related to the processes of identity construction and memory construction. How is memory related to identity? Of course, this is a big field, and I have neither an ambition nor the possibility to actually explore the subject thoroughly. However, as I said, my intention is to draw your attention to a few issues related to it, and maybe on a more practical side, towards the end of my talk, I would suggest how one may explore a city in order to search for meaning, in order to search for memory, in order to search for commemoration, and everything which is connected to the past, and how we deal with the past, and what we do with the past, and why the past is important for us in this sense. So a few things, a few remarks at the beginning. Obviously, from the social cultural point of view, space is symbolic. Of course, it is also a physical reality, but for us it is symbolic, it is meaningful, and that's how we are going to see it, to understand it. This is space is for us to be understood, to be interpreted. An urban space in particular, of course, especially that in modern cities, as well as in traditional cities in Europe and elsewhere, urban space is full of meaning, is full of memories, is full of diverse interpretations also, because society is always pluralistic, is always complex. There is no such thing as complete homogeneity, although of course we may have such an impression. Obviously, if you move from a very multicultural European or American metropolis to, for example, even my hometown, which is Kraków, you may have an impression that is much less diversity there, because the presence of, for example, ethnic or racial minorities is much less visible. It's much smaller than in many other places. And yet, if you look at this, the urban space from the point of view of how we organize the past and how we remember, how we commemorate, then pluralism on many different levels is becoming sort of evident. Symbolic space, like all symbolic realities, is organized, is constructed as a cultural phenomenon, or maybe I would prefer to say as a symbolic process. Let's see it as a process, a processual nature of society. Excuse me, there's something going on. No, but I have. Oh, that's strange, because Lucia just told me that I can't be seen, but I can see myself in a small picture on my screen, and now I don't know what have. How about now? Oh, my computer, my laptop communicates to me that everything is okay, is in order with the camera, so I don't really know whether I can do anything about it. Maybe our colleague, computer specialist Konrad, can suggest something, but I continue, and if anything can be done regarding my visibility, I would be, of course, I would follow the instructions. I don't know. I mean, as far as my no. Okay. Well, nevertheless, I would continue. It's okay? Shall I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay, good. So, as he said, let's think of the symbolic space as a process, as process of construction, in which different people attribute meaning to space, to different elements in space, to different objects which are in space, and it is, of course, then a very important, significant element of their culture. And looking from this point of view, we may say that an urban space, or a city, let's say it's simply a city, is a frame, constitutes a frame within which people create their memory and create their identity. Of course, collective identity exists or is developed on many different levels. We all are aware of this. All of us have many different identities, belong to many different communities with which we identify. We feel that this belonging is meaningful to us, is important to us. So we may see ourselves as members of a nation, of a region, of Europe, or some of us can have very strongly developed global human identity, or we have identities related to the profession, to minority community. A lot of these different identities are present in an urban space. So we can say that as city dwellers, as people living in a city, we may, it's no obligation, of course, although it is strongly suggested, I would say, by the urban community, that we develop some kind of identity related to the city. You are a Londoner, a Krakowian, a Venetian, whatever. I mean, we depend where we live. Not all of us, of course, must have this identity related to the city well developed. It is an interesting question when we study identity, what kind of identities we have, but also what kind of identities we do not have. And if this not having a particular identity is something that is tolerated. And we know, of course, that there are some communities where certain identities are seen as kind of mandatory or expected to have it. If you don't have it, then there may be some kind of social sanctions applied. With the urban space, with city identity, it depends. You may live in a city without having particular emotional or attachment or particular identity which would show itself in your activities, of course, but at the same time, there are people who are very strongly connected to this, and they feel they belong to the urban space. And yet, of course, one thing is to have an urban identity, a city identity, but another thing is to be particularly connected to a part of it, to a district, to a neighborhood, to a particular area in the city where you feel that you belong. And of course, we know that there are cities which are divided symbolically, sometimes also materially, into areas which are directly connected to a particular minority. We speak of ghettos, for instance. As you know, ghetto, of course, is a very meaningful concept which we now tend to relate to the Second World War and the Holocaust, but the original ghetto is an area in Venice, one of my favorite areas in Venice, in fact, where the original ghetto, the Jewish neighborhood existed, and of course it is somehow still remembered and commemorated, even if the Jewish community is really very tiny there, at least if you exclude visitors. Anyway, you can say that the urban space is a space, symbolic space, which is a forum, a platform on which collective identities, different collective identities, are developed. Identity requires symbols, and identity requires relation to others. That's very important. We always create identity in relation to some other people, we create identity as a symbolic image. Who we are collectively. What does it mean to be us? What is the meaning to belong? What does it mean that we are members and participants in a given community? Especially in the modern society, I would say, and in a different sort of way in postmodern society, we are making a great use of the past and memory. We remember collectively, and of course, although one can say that individual memory is ontologically located somewhere in our mind, that's one thing, but we also realize that collective memory has ontologically a different status. I mean, there is no such thing as collective mind. Therefore, collective memory can only exist through symbolic representations. So different symbols through which we collectively remember. We commemorate, we remember, we express our collective memory. Which of course is not the same, it's not a simple sum of individual memories. This collective memory is what we remember as a community, what concerns us as a community. And urban space, any urban space, is full of places which convey this kind of meaning, which are conveyors of memory. There are monuments, there are statues, there are streets and squares which have names, there are plaques, commemorative plaques commemorating events or individual people. European cities are full of such plaques. Sometimes when we visit a city, I remember I had a very strange feeling when I was sort of, I wasn't particularly proud of myself when I visited Dublin for the first time, because Dublin, the center of Dublin, is full of buildings where there are commemorative plaques, and I had an unpleasant feeling that many of those names did not mean anything to me. I didn't know, but obviously to Dubliners, these names are very meaningful, and they are material and symbolic conveyors of memory, commemorating people and events. Also, buildings themselves, without necessarily being described one way or another explicitly, also convey memories. But for our memory and for our identity, what is also very important is what we do collectively in the urban space. Not only what we materially build there, create objects in a space, but also how we use the space to remember and to commemorate. What I mean is, of course, different kinds of processions, commemorative meetings, but also demonstrations, protests, all sorts of symbolic collective events in which we express ourselves, and all sorts of rituals. Some cities have not only local importance, but also national importance. Capital cities, but also not necessarily capitals, but cities which are seen as of having particular significance for the national history. Kraków, where I live and from where I speak now, is one of those. I mean, it has very strong national significance. So it's not only local events are taking place there, not only events which are meaningful for the city, but also national events. And it is an interesting question how these two levels of meaning interact, how they are related to each other, whether this is the same narrative, whether this is the same meaning expressed, or whether perhaps not necessarily so. Maybe people say, well, this is not something which we would like necessarily to become like a national shrine, so to speak. I mean, let's say if those of you who will join me this afternoon for a short excursion through Kraków, will have an opportunity to discuss with me this particular spaces, how they are used and by whom, and of course they are religious objects, they are secular objects that convey meaning. Cemeteries are very often considered to be of particular significance for memory, and they are like the mirrors of the city, and of its history, and often you actually see the multicultural, complicated, diverse past developments of a city through the cemeteries. There are some cities which are famous for their very, very significant, very important, symbolically very important cemeteries. Paris is one of them, of course, but also Vilnius and Lviv and Krakow and many other places, where many other cities which are absolutely which are very well known for their cemeteries, not only for them, fortunately, but as well. Cities have centers and cities have peripheries. I'm just reminding that sorry, excuse me, that I should ask you whether I can be seen. Is this, I'm not saying that my face is particularly worth seeing, but can you see me, or it's not possible, or you cannot still?
We can see.
Oh, you can? Oh, that's wonderful. I don't know what was the... Okay, that's a so that's very this is very good. I would say that as cities develop territorially, because we see it as a process, okay, historical development. As cities develop territorially, new districts appear, new areas are, join or are developed, come into existence, new neighborhoods, and they bring also new memories and new identities, ethnic, class identities were also very important. That is, some parts of cities are class related, like working class area, for instance, or middle class area. And of course, there's identity related to it. And also what is very, very important is the internal dynamics in it. I give you a very short example of it. When I was when I lived for a while in the Netherlands, I visited many places there. Among others, I explored The Hague, and I wanted to see a very well-known monument to Spinoza, of which I knew that it was somewhere in The Hague. I traced it, I found it, and it was a very strange feeling, because it was to me a perfect example of a forgotten, marginalized symbol, because it used to be, the monument is located in what used to be a very elegant kind of upper middle class part of the city. But then this urban space in its internal dynamics changed, and now it is kind of area which is mainly inhabited by immigrant communities. There is also happens to be a local red light district just in the square near this monument. So the monument, of course, is kind of neglected, is dirty, is surrounded with kind of bushes which were not kept in any order, and it is, for me, it was an example of not only forgotten place, but place which doesn't have any meaning, or has a very new meaning, I don't know, but certainly in the original meaning, I don't think that most of the people who live there, they will be particularly interested in the person and whatever Spinoza, his name and his work means. And such, and of course in America also, we know that many that cities develop in the sense that districts change hands, there are new communities coming, and they give new meaning to the places. In Chicago, I remember the Polish church erected by generations ago by a Polish community, and now the community has moved, and people who live there are mainly from Latin America, and they use the church, obviously. As they are Catholics, they use the same church, but the church is full of Polish language and inscriptions and Polish local saints, and it's a fantastically interesting topic for analysis of what is the new meaning given by the new people to this what is a cultural product of a different culture, and how they make use of it, and how they integrate this particular object of religious significance into their culture, and how it's becoming, in what sense it is becoming a center of their space, of their also what is its significance. Now, obviously, what is said of a plurality of this space, internal diversity, it means that there are tensions, conflicts of interpretation, different groups offer different views. And sometimes it is a problem, sometimes it is less a problem. Depends whether there is a goodwill to live together in a place, or whether there is a conflict over to whom this place or whom this space belongs. This is a very, very important question on many different levels. Who is the owner? Who has the right to it? To whom this space belongs? And there are, of course, attempts to monopolize it. We often see it, that either it is governmental, political authorities' intention to monopolize the space, or religious institutions. In Poland, we are now commenting it very often that the public space has been or is being gradually monopolized by the Catholic Church. Whatever is happening there has or is expected to have a religious significance, and of course the Catholic Church claims to be the only institution who has the right to interpret it, to tell us what it means. There may be a conflict either between different religions or between the secular community, or the people, or the community which wants their space to be secular, and religious institutions, or people for whom this religious significance is of primary importance. So different memories, different identities coexist or clash or negotiate. It's good if we can negotiate. It's good if we can try to find some kind of common ground or a compromise. How to use the place, how to use the space together. But the question of to whom the space belongs is a very, I mean, I would say one of the key questions, because it means it is a question about who has the rights, but also who has the obligations. If I say this is a space which belongs to me, this means that I decide how to use it. This means that I decide what it means, what is its meaning, but also it implies that it is my duty to look after it in terms of conservation, in terms of maintenance and investment, whatever costs are to be somehow involved in this space. So this is always the case with heritage. This balance between the rights and the obligations, including financial obligations, this is becoming especially important issue when we talk about the memories and symbolic memory of a community which does no longer live here. Communities which disappeared for whatever reasons, sometimes very tragic reasons, like the Jewish community in many, especially Central European cities, where there's no more Jewish community, and yet their memories are there, and of course the identity encoded, inscribed in the space. So whose right it is and whose duty it is to do something with it? Who interprets it? Who is going to tell us this is the right way of using this space? Or who can say no, this is not appropriate, this is not how it should be? If you don't own it legally, if you don't pay for it, do you still have the right to tell others what it means? Well, that's a very important cultural issue, which of course we know from many places in Europe and in Europe and elsewhere. So this is something to take into account. Also, again, I would like to mention the fact that urban space is dynamic. It changes. We change names of places, for instance. We erect new monuments, but we removed unwanted monuments. In post-communist Europe, this we know it very well, that some monuments are not welcome anymore because are seen as having been imposed by the authoritarian regime or by the occupants. Therefore, we want to get rid of them. We change names. To which names? To the original names, to the more appropriate names. Is it okay if we change names of places? Because on the one hand, it is like manipulating the past, like pretending something didn't exist or someone didn't exist. At the same time, well, it is hard to tell people living in a street that no matter whether they like it or not, they must have this address connected symbolically with a person or an event with which they would rather not identify. So this I would say there's a concept ethnic cleansing, which means getting rid of or by force removing some ethnic communities. I can say that cleansing is also the concept which we may apply to this often politically motivated change of space. So this is also something to consider. And then before I show you a few pictures and give some comments to them, there is also what he mentioned is that space is also used for collective commemorative and politically important, religiously important collective action, rituals, processions, demonstrations, marches, and then the questions remain, or we can ask questions like, what is allowed, what is not allowed? What should happen there, what shouldn't? Whose decision it is? Again, related to the question to whom the city belongs, or whom the particular part of the city belongs. What is where is the appropriate place to do it? There are centers and there are peripheries. The question is, does a city have one center or many centers? And are these many centers related to particular groups or particular periods in history? And therefore, what is the appropriate place to erect a new monument or to organize a demonstration, for instance? Obviously, if you want to demonstrate against something which is politically or for other reasons, in other senses, very important, then you want to do it in a place which is meaningful, where you can be seen and heard, where you attract attention, but also the place itself may be meaningful, like in front of a monument or some important office building. Sometimes you do it, you're kind of deliberately, the authorities try to prevent people or demonstrators, for instance, from entering particular space. Because then it would be, I would say, dangerous. If you want to demonstrate, do it elsewhere, do it in the suburbs. In Krakow, many years ago, there was a suggestion or a proposition that the kind of LGBT group supporters wanted to organize a demonstration at the university. And they proposed to do it in front of the main university building, which is in the center of the city. And the university authorities at that time, well, they were not very happy of generating this kind of politically motivated or whatever implications they might have. They were not happy with the idea, but they didn't want to say no. Therefore, they said, well, okay, if you want to organize this gathering, this demonstration, do it, but not in the center, but at the university campus. Now, there's a completely different significance of something like that we organize it in on campus, far away from the center. It will still attract attention of students, but it would not attract attention of the public, which was the intention. So, and of course, rituals are very important, significant, very significant symbolic events in themselves. They signify order, social order, through their rhythm, through their the repetitive character, through their formal structure. Rituals may also symbolize a desire to change. We saw it in the past in Poland and in other places where people demonstrated against the communist regimes. The communists organized their own rituals, their own marches, their own parades, which were very formal, very rigidly structured, symbolizing the stability and order. The opposition organized parallel event, symbolic event, which symbolized something else, something which Victor Turner might call an anti-structure, something which signifies a change and desire to change and to create a new order. So this is very important, of course, to study rituals if you want to understand the community and its culture, but it's also very important to understand the city where these places are, where these events are organized, and is there a consensus about it, where we do certain things, is it conflict over it, and also who has the right to do it. If we celebrate something like the Remembrance Day in London, which is celebrated in the Whitehall, this is a very formal state occasion with the royal family and Her Majesty and everyone, the whole society is represented there. Obviously, there is certain expectation that it will be done in a particular place for particular reasons, and in a particular way. But in other places, in other cities or on other occasions, there is a conflict. Who has the right to participate? Who goes there first? Who is forbidden from doing it on that occasion? And of course, this is something. This is a conflict through which we may understand quite a lot about what is happening in society. Now I would try to show you a few pictures. I don't know whether you can see a lot of them, but I don't know. These are. I will start with a few commemorative monuments, which are, if you think about it, are very similar in style. This is, if I remember correctly, this is Atatürk in Ankara. Of course, the great. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I cannot see.
You cannot see. Oh, that's a. You cannot see it. I can see it again.
Actually, I can see even your face, Jesus.
You can see it or you're not?
I can see at all your face and the screen. Oh, now I see your face, but I can see the screen. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not particularly good in it, but I thought this is a present. Moment. Share screen. How do you share screen? Maybe I would just. Okay.
Now we see.
Okay, thank you. Well, I mean, I cannot really do much without help, but that's all right. Great. So you can see. So this is a monument. Atatürk, Turkish leader, creator of modern Turkey. Of course, a very, very important person symbolically, and everybody who knows anything about Turkey knows how it is, how significant and how celebrated this memory of Atatürk is. And this is the, of course, such monuments we know from many places, from many cities. They always signify political memory importance. In this case here connected, I mean, with military greatness and achievements, and the aesthetics of it, of course, is very clear. Power, dignity, greatness, and of course, a man on the horseback, of course, means a lot in this context. Now we have another. We don't know. Oh yes, this is. If I am not, but this is some kind of confusion here. No, to my memory, this is Garibaldi. It was this is of course an Italian. I mean, if you think about it, a very similar type of monument. It is on a kind of architectural construction on horseback, surrounded by figures which of course are supposed to be meaningful, and then to commemorate a man who in Italy, that's very interesting. I mean, in my own experience of visiting many parts of Italy, that there are these two levels of meaning also present in the urban space. There is a local, regional architecture and memory and everything that enshrines and religious and secular objects in Venice, in Florence, in Rome. But on top of this, there's another level. There's a level of national significance. There are all these names of Via Roma and Piazza Cavour and Via Garibaldi and all this, and these names and their commemorative plaques and statues and monuments are present, and buildings that kind of are supposed to be symbolically connected with the Republic, with the state, with Italy. This is the two levels of meaning, the national and the regional coexist. And fortunately, do coexist because there are other places they also know in the world where this creating a new level of meaning is done at the expense of the previous one, and very often, like in the former German part of what is now Poland, Polish state, the German memory was deliberately destroyed in order to pretend that never existed. Of course, this is a great pity when you see great, Renaissance buildings being destroyed in order to create, to forge a new memory from scratch. This is interesting. This is Vytautas Magnus. This is the greatest hero of the Lithuanian past. And again, the same style. Again, well, he is not on a horseback, but he's standing on this monument, surrounded by figures of figures which symbolize his defeated enemies. And for me, it is a very good example of that a monument is not actually historiography. A monument speaks of certain ideas or ideologies, because here Vytautas is crowned. He has a crown on his head, even if he had never been actually crowned. When I asked for the explanation which I got was I liked very much, because it was typical that he wasn't crowned, but he would have been crowned if not that he had died too soon. So it was like he deserved to be crowned. He was a great enough man to become king. Therefore, that's how he was. He should be represented symbolically on the statue, and not. I mean, no matter what was the historical reality. Now, this is this small picture is Lenin. Is Vladimir Lenin. Is of course the hero of the communist revolution, whose statues were erected everywhere in the communist Europe, and very often, like in this case, this is in the industrial suburb of Krakow in Nowa Huta, where his statue was erected without anybody's in the community being asked whether they wanted or not, and was seen as something imposed by the the occupant or by the authoritarian regime. Nevertheless, as in this picture, Lenin statue played a very significant role in this symbolic space of this urban, of this socialist city. And then after 1989, the same statue was simply removed. And now you see the picture of this statue being removed when inhabitants finally could decide what they wanted in their space. Then they decided that this Lenin should go, and many other communist-related monuments were removed. Now we also saw the removal of a different monument, different of a once very celebrated priest who later became known that he was a pedophile, and therefore his statue was removed in the city of Gdańsk because obviously the local population thought, well, we don't want that guy to dominate symbolically our space. So heroes, maybe their statues may be put on the monument, but may also be removed. And then in this Lenin's case, it's also interesting because it didn't become a fact, but it was a proposal that instead of having Lenin in the center of this city of Nowa Huta in Kraków, we should have this hero, this black character of this dark character of the Star Wars, Lord Vader. So having Lord Vader as a symbol of authoritarian power instead of Lenin on this monument was quite a clever idea. It was seriously proposed and considered by the city council, but for some reasons it was never realized. But I thought it was a good idea. From Lenin's statue, the center of the symbolic space of power, through the symbol and the figure being abolished, until the kind of a satirical version of it. This is, of course, St. Peter's Square in Rome, which I decided to show as the ideal form of a square, which constitutes a community in its shape, in its architectural design. It embraces, it integrates. It is clear. It is a symbol with a clearly marked center. And it is what is always exists in our memory, in our mind, as symbolic for the Vatican and the center of Catholicism, and this also its shape and its design. I would think is very good example of how we do it. This is the Red Square in Moscow, which I decided to show you because also it's of course very well known, because it came as a surprise to me, because it was before I ever came to Moscow. I saw it many times on television, but always on the occasion of great military parades. These great military parades, which were the expressions of the Russian, the Soviet at that time, military power. And I always had the impression, I always had an idea that there was there was a gigantic space. This square was huge. And I was very surprised when I finally saw it. And then I realized it was relatively small. So it was like this televised event, ritual. In my mind, at least, I had a very different impression of the size, the physical size of the space, which was much smaller in reality than I thought. And this is Jerusalem. This is the Temple Mount. This is where, to me, is an example of a contested space. As you know, this is a very contested part of Jerusalem, with this golden dome covering a stone, which is significant both for the biblical story and for the Quran, for the Muslims and for the Jewish and also Christian people. And it seems that there's no consensus. There can never be any agreement, any compromise. I mean, both sides want to have it exclusively for themselves. and now it's very strange because the access to this hill is controlled by the Israeli soldiers, while the Palestinian community, which has administration of it. So, for instance, they wouldn't let you in unless you are to the buildings, unless you are a Muslim. You can walk in the square, but you cannot enter the buildings. And it doesn't seem to be any solution feasible of this space, which could belong to all the communities involved, but apparently none of them is prepared to make it open to anybody else than themselves. So this looks like a problem, and this is also the same mount, Temple Mount at night, with this dominant symbol of the golden cupola, the golden dome. This is a different example. This is also Jerusalem, but this is the church which belongs to all branches of Christianity. The church which is where the Jesus grave is, and also the Golgotha, the place of crucifixion was located. And this church, this is where the Jesus Christ grave is, in this building, is inside the church. And to me it's interesting also because this church belongs to all Christians, not only to Catholics, not just to Catholics or Protestants, whoever, all Christians, because you cannot exclude any branch of Christianity from this symbolism. And yet it is very well known that there's a lot of tensions and conflicts and arguments between these people who are responsible collectively for this church. Nevertheless, the church still remains a collective symbolic property. And this is the last one. This is from Krakow, from my hometown. This is a religious procession at the foot of the Royal Hill, where there's the castle. So this is just a short glimpse as how the church is trying to take over, monopolize, or give a very strong significance, religious significance to the space. Okay, that's all I wanted to say, all I wanted to show you. If you have any questions, if you have any remarks or comments, obviously I'll be very happy to take them. Thank you. I will now, what I will do, No? Are there any questions or comments? Well, obviously.
If there are no questions.
Oh, Paula, yes.
Yeah, I just raised my hands. I don't know if there are some questions from the Italian students, but first of all, I would like to thank you for this interesting, is really a sort of overview of our subject that is related with cultural heritage and the use of space and the concept of responsibility, but also awareness of what and who, we are treating when we talk about space. So really, really enlightening as usual. I have maybe it's provocative question, but do you know we use memory, and when we talk about these spaces, we use the word commemoration. So that is more close to celebration, and this is some ambiguity, I think, that is driving also in the ambiguity of space. When you ask you are talking about changing names, for instance, not something radical like the statue, but changing names. And here in Italy, as you know, there are a lot of names related. You quoted Via Roma, but we have also, some other names that are like Piazza Eritrea, or something that is related with the past, that for someone is even now they do not recognize. So this ambiguity, in your opinion, how we can, or what are the suggestions to deal with this, you know, controversial symbolic use of the space?
Well, yeah, thank you. That's, of course, a very, very important issue. And I don't think there is any golden rule here. As I said briefly, I mean, you cannot really expect people to accept the fact that they are symbolically, they have to, in their address on the front of their windows, they see something which they hate. On the other hand, there is a problem with this memory cleansing, what I said, that you remove monuments, you change names, you destroy plaques, or what I saw also very often, you just add another plaque with another inscription to the same monument. So the same monument all of a sudden means something else. Or there is a conflict over to whom it belongs. Like there is in Warsaw, there is a Copernicus statue, which had a Polish plaque attached to it, and then when the Nazis came, they didn't destroy the monument. They just changed their what was the inscription there. So like giving the new sense, the new meaning to the same object, claiming this in this sense, in a national sense, that, you know, whether Copernicus was Polish or German. In fact, Copernicus, at his time, didn't make any sense to speak of national identity, but nevertheless, retrospectively, of course, this is what people do. I think that this is the issue which requires very individual and very tactful and very thoughtful approach. Because, for example, in Krakow, we removed eventually all the Soviet memories, like, you know, commemorating not only Lenin but also some Soviet generals. The city council decided it didn't want to do it, to have it anymore. But there was one monument which wasn't completely like eliminated. This was the monument to the Red Army, to the soldiers, because the idea was that the generals and the politicians is one thing, but the soldiers is another. So and they should be commemorated because they died here. So the monument was just removed to the cemetery. But it's still there, it is still in the city, it still exists. It wasn't destroyed, or it wasn't like sent back to Russia, anything like that. So there are good or bad examples of how to deal with it. Sometimes I'm not very happy with what's happening, like in my town, for instance, in Krakow, because there is this obsession that all the names should be changed into the previous one, like pre-Second World War ones. But okay, but some of those significance has disappeared. 70 years ago, these names meant something to people. Now they don't. You wake up and you realize that you live in the street that has a name of a person you never heard of, and a person whose significance has, you know, vanished in the air. Because, you know, like the person who erected a building, for instance, it was a great thing at that time, has no significance today. So it wouldn't make much sense. This is like, you know, a political decision, but it's also the question of whether we should, local memories are more important, national histories, or, you know, if there is a religious person, for instance, a saint or something in Catholic country who is related to the city, that's fine. But whether, you know, that's sometimes it's really hard to figure out what is the logic of it. But I think I would tend to be very careful with this this radicalism in this sense, and or replacing one level of memory with another. Because it's always also it provokes a pendulum reaction. Then the new people come to power and then they go back to the previous. It doesn't make much sense. Well, obviously, sometimes we have to do it, like Hitler or Mussolini or people like that. Well, that's a memory which we, even legally, it is not possible to keep it in many sense. But I think that's one thing which we could do or use our summer school for is to make people more sensitive to or more aware of how to recognize things and how to discover things and what to look at, what, like centers and peripheries, boundaries, in more multicultural places, what are the traces or memories of the, like in Krakow, there's a Jewish community, of the community which is no longer here, which disappeared, was in a tragic sense, sometimes also simply emigrated. What is the, who and how and why not only erected a particular symbolic object, but how it is used and by whom, and whether its significance is still the same. Are there any conflicts over meaning, over interpretation? That's a when in the communist times there was this continuous kind of conflict, sometimes dialogue between the church and the state over where the Corpus Christi processions would be organized. And when the state wanted the church support, they were more willing to let the church organize this procession in the public space, while when there was more conflict and the state was kind of advancing in power against the church, they would try to reduce the processions only to the inner space of the church. So you can tell by studying the history of where these processions took place in a particular year, you could tell a lot about what were the relations between the church and the state. So no, but I think I think my time has come to an end, at least my time as a person lecturing today. I hope that not in other sense. I would like to say that in 1 hour exactly, that is now we have this 11, at 12, in 1 hour, the students who are in Krakow, students who I would like to meet all of you, all students who want to take part in this excursion, which starts at 12. Please meet at the foot of the Wawel Hill, the Royal Hill. There are 2 entrances, but you enter from the Straszewskiego Street, and there is a monument. There's a monument to, also on horseback, to Tadeusz Kościuszko, who is a Polish and American hero of American Revolution, very important person internationally. Kościuszko has a monument there, and at the foot of this monument, I'm going to meet you, I hope, at 12 o'clock sharp, exactly in 1 hour. Otherwise, thank you very much. I'm sure we're going to have great, and I'm going to be also present in some of these lectures with great pleasure. And thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And I wish you a very wonderful week and a wonderful afternoon today. Thank you very much.
Anyone there? Okay. I think that is in the program. This is a time for the coffee break. Probably Lucia will be back. Meanwhile, I will ask to, I want to ask her something, because we had problem today with Jana, I don't know you, but we had a serious problem with connections and with the management of the, so maybe we can briefly ask her to meet quickly, maybe after this, in order to discuss such a subject. Jana, are you there? Patricia, are you there?
I think they just need
They
to
just left.
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay,
So,
Jana, can
okay.
I mean, are the Italian students here?
Yes.
Marco, Marta, Camilla.
Yes.
Okay. So, okay. So for the Italian students, I just sent to you an email, but I think that is a good idea if in, let's say, 50 minutes, we will meet in the teams that if Professor Montori is here, she organized for us in the UNIVAC. Okay, so we can discuss because I already fixed the meeting, etc. So, Patrizia,
yes.
Okay, so we will meet in the team that you created for UNIVAC. Okay, let's say in 15 minutes.
In our meeting, in our team, and we
yes,
discuss
in 15 minutes. Yeah, and I wish Seren is there because as I wrote to you, unfortunately, Laura has a really serious problem. So Seren will be the tutor at least for that. And thank you. It seems that nobody's here, Jana, except and Patricia Sartaz and our students. Jana, Patricia, can we meet? I think that we need to meet today. I don't know when.
Yes.
We can send, if Lucia...
Maybe, Paula, we can stay longer. I mean, like, let's say,
yeah,
let's
okay,
close the session.
okay.
Thank you very much, all of you. We stay with Paula as team leaders. So I'm very thankful for the presentation of Professor Mach and for everything you said, and we explained you, and let's hope that the week will be fulfilled by very impressive things and ideas, and you know, for your personal development. Thank you very much. You will be now led by your tutors. Also, my Slovak students will be led by me. We will meet, or I will send you an email so we stay in touch. And now I will just ask Paola and
Jana is here
and Jana
is here.
stay.
Yes.
So we will discuss a little bit the technical issues.
Sorry, Victoria, you
so
were saying something.
Okay, can I'm leave?
No, thank you so much. And remember, just for you to remember that the part with Game Simulation that is interactive would be with all the students, not with the national unit. I will spread the program that we organized for L'Aquila, so maybe you can understand how it's going also in yours. But please, also for our students, we'll meet in teams, in UNIVAC teams. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jana. Jana, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry. I was with a technical problem.
No. And I think that we have to solve this. So goodbye to everybody. Have a good coffee and good. We will stay here, just professors and myself.
Okay.
Jana, stay here.
I stay, no?
You have to.
Okay.
You have to. I'm looking, I don't understand if we can ask Lucia to come back.
Yeah.
Can someone tell her?
Yes, I will write on the chat.
Because I cannot use the chat. I cannot share my screen. I don't know why. I'm sorry. But it seems that I have the rights.
I don't. Okay, dear all, I'm sorry, but my students really had troubles to come into the session, and also they had some troubles with internet connection. So it was not easy, and also they like upload to a different meeting. I mean, like they were not in the same room as we were, so I just explained them that they were just wrong. So maybe for tomorrow we have to solve the situation because they were just like in a different place, and you know.
Yes,
I don't know how this happened.
I think I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea. As I showed to you before, I cannot even share. I mean, it was written that I can share the screen, but I can't. I can't write on the chat. So maybe there are some rights or so we need.
Yeah, and also, sorry, but we are still recorded. I mean, like maybe we should stop recording, but it's.
But can someone
maybe Miranda, try you.
Jana,
I cannot stop.
No. Yeah. I cannot. So.
You can see I'm trying to share my screen.
I can see you. I can see your screen. Sorry.
No, but you can see my no. You can see my screen. Nothing.
No.
No. Oh, it's the same for me, Paola. I have the bottom available, but I can't share. I share the screen, but the screen doesn't appear.
Okay.
So
this is the problem. This is the problem.
And I have to say,
because we are host, not owner of the team. I think
it could be because you are external to the organization.
Maybe they can give us authorization or something, allowed us to share the.
Sorry.
I will write to Lucia asking for this permission, because our professor will need this, because he has a presentation, so he have a presentation, so. And I must say, for our side, this is like a completely failure. We have just one student. The second student that we have, she told us that she can participate for working issues, and now we have just one. And this person told me that she can stay and work in the summer school 2 hours per day. Oh, in other words, a lecture and the simulation, and nothing more. I don't know what to say. And we try a lot. It was like 3 weeks trying and calling and sending emails and convincing the students, and it's like, no. Like my daughter, no.
I understand, but this probably could be a problem. We have to ask them to check, to Lucia to check on it. From our side, as you can see, they work hard since before the summer school.
Yeah.
So we organize with them the video, for instance, just to make something more, pleasant to say. And I think it worked. They were like, self-made and Marco put together, but edited them. But what I am worrying is that I'm really worrying if we will, let's say, we will lose contact, because I think that we can have our own, let's say, team. Jana, maybe your student can join just the lectures, that is fine, but we can organize our students. I'm worrying about honestly, about the organization in general. I mean, Jana and I, we are used to work together, so we can do something. Patricia is a newcomer, but she is adaptable, so no problem. No problem. Seren, you understood that you are the one that have to guide the students, because Laura is not coming here. So I don't know, where are you, Seren?
In Rome.
Actually, I'm in Rome. I just
okay. So we will ask to my students to organize by themselves. Okay. Yes, but also this is something that we have to understand as a role. If our role is somewhere, I mean, since the beginning, I'm even not University of L'Aquila actually. Okay. So I'm external.
It's very complicated.
Scientific responsible of the project, but I'm not there. Anyhow, Seren, if tomorrow, for instance, you can be present during the day and that, but we can meet in the teams in a while. We can meet in the teams later on, so we can organize our stuff.
Yes,
Okay?
speak in our team about the test.
No problem, no problem. Thank you. Luckily you are here. But still problems, because Jana, even with one student or 5 our students or 5 students from Jana, I think that we need to understand how to do online plenary session. We cannot run like today. So what is better in your opinion to do? Ask Lucia to be more...
No, I guess we need a schedule, but a fixed one. Like, because the students need to know who talk first.
I send to you hours with some with also the schedule of the day.
We can follow your schedule. We can follow your schedule. And send to Lucia and ask her to disseminate this schedule for all invited, for all the, and put here on the platform saying we will follow this schedule on Friday, and please let attention to this. I don't know, because
yes,
today was like who speak now to you.
Yeah. Can you see here the one that I sent? Only the one that is in the red is the other is for everybody. So if you wish, I can even send to you the Word file, and if you want to change, I mean, to change everything, you can just change for your unit.
Thank you, Paula.
I don't know if our student will present some results. I'm so sorry. I'm like embarrassing. This is like a situation that it's not.
We can understand. We can understand. Do not worry. Do not worry. I mean, the only worry is that what could happen if, you know, just if you can keep these one students with you, that will try to integrate, for instance, him in the, you know, we have 2 hours in my gaming simulation, for instance, if he is interested, or he or she.
She.
If she is interested, we can work even, I can tutor even her a bit more if she's interested, so no problem for that.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe she can work on it, okay?
Yeah.
Or maybe I can propose something like for the gaming simulation, the urban gaming simulation, I can propose your city as a part for the gaming simulation. You know, they have just 3 hours, so they can do.
But the problem is that she have no time in her day to do this, because she's working and working on her PhD thesis, and it's like the poor girl explained me all the day activities, and I was like, oh my god. And she's working on tourism sector, so now for them it's like, woo, you're like full time working.
Okay,
so,
but let's say we can try to.
Yeah, we will manage it somehow.
So we can try to help her in order to have at least
simple.
one result, you know, from your unit. What you know, just don't waste all the effort and that you have done.
Yeah, our idea is that she will develop. I don't know if she agreed with this and it will be possible, but develop like a map. Each day she do like a sidewalking by their own, and mapping some points and observing the points in relation with the previous lecture. And the map is like a free format, and she can put photos and I don't know, something simple.
Okay.
And in the end, join the 4 maps. She had the final work, and that's all.
I think that is perfect. It's perfect. If she can do this, she can do this.
I will pray for this because I don't know.
Okay.
I will send now the activity and we'll see.
Okay. Okay. I think it's perfect. So I will send again this one, or you can ask Lucia to update. Jana, would you like to have it in a Word format so you can eventually?
Yes.
I will send to you. I will send to you. You too in Word format so you can change. I'm sorry, this is, with our logo and is written, but you can change anything on there.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much, because it's really, you did a great job to prepare the real program and with everything. I mean, like, I was very surprised that somebody designed it, because what we received was just not in this form. So thank you abnormally a lot.
No,
I will be honest, I have, yes.
No.
Yes, Paula.
My pleasure.
Okay, and I have about 7 students, but 4 of them are not. They just don't feel comfortable in English. I mean, like, they understand, but they are not very good in speaking. So that's why I will just work with those, I mean, like, in virtual or during lectures with those who speak English and quite well, let's say, or just understandable. So, but it's okay. And as you know, we need, for Jana, we need 20 students altogether. It means that if I provide 7, if Paula provides 7 students, you want
6, I can find one more. Yeah.
Okay, so then we have altogether about 20 students. So no problems. I think we can borrow your students.
Well,
I think we can count the tutors as a student. If yes, Seren, I think Seren, Laura, and Federico, they could be included as a student as well. So it will be, let's say, between us, it will be 15. So I think, Jana, don't worry about it.
Okay, I didn't know this information, because I must say honestly, I don't know nothing about the coordination.
Okay.
This detail, well.
Okay. Okay. Seren, don't worry, you will have a certificate as a tutor, but it's just the accountability, is an accountability of the, of the program. In the program, you are already tutor, but it's the accountability of the school. So also Laura, she's
yeah.
She's an experienced tutor of my summer school, but that's fine. Okay. It's just for that. By the way, there are two lectures that we will upload and do in Teams, if you want, after your after the coffee break tomorrow. We are going to run it in Teams, but in our Teams. Eventually, we will send to you the link. And this is about, I think maybe is important for you, because it's about cultural heritage approaches pre and post disaster. And Dr. Patrizio Gamming, she's an historian. She's not an architect, she's an historian. So maybe she can have some insight. And Barnack Gamming will give, we record it, and we will upload both.
Okay.
So, and please, if Jana or Rihanna, if you have your please, this is one we have to ask to Lucia. If you can ask to Lucia, Jana, I would really appreciate it. The first is an efficient, let's say, an efficient system for connecting online. Because I think that we need two different systems, two different rooms, one for the organizers and the other for the students. The students can just be entering the room, but we need the chance to show our screen and you know, to chat, etc. And we need that right at least. And if you can ask her where we can upload our material, because Patrizia already created the teams for UNIVAC, but in our, right, Patrizia, in our system, isn't it?
Yes, in our system,
in our system,
in our organization. So I don't know if the other can enter in the team. I think that
no,
they can't.
No. So we have to create a specific space of storage, because I think it's important also to show these activities. Jana, even your students, even if your students speak, you know, do things and speak in Slovakian, let's say, just show that they are doing, and maybe someone can just, you know, put some subtitle or something like that.
I will just add that, you know, during my local lectures, we will speak, I think, Slovak because of my students. They will prepare some materials in Slovak, but it's good because we also put into the program that the second part of, or just the evening part is going to be about, or just afternoon part about local languages, and you know, they will produce some materials. I will show them as a result. So for me, it's quite kind of clear. Of course, some of them will produce in English. So I think I managed my group. I think now I feel better because I am in touch with them. The problem is that I don't know how and where we are going to meet tomorrow. What link we should click. I mean, like, I am absolutely desperate about the feeling that tomorrow I have no idea where we are going to meet. And once again, I will send them some links, 3 or 4, and they will repeat me that it doesn't work. They are somewhere.
Jana, can you serve as, let's say, if you are so kind, please, and you can do this, just send to address to Lucia and of course in CC to us. I mean, Jana and Patrizia and myself and Saren as well. And then let's say, let's check and see what we can do and organize for tomorrow, because we need this afternoon. We cannot have tomorrow morning. We need this afternoon. That's important. And again, ask link. I mean, for tomorrow. So it must be stable with separate, let's say, rights for us as organizers or for our tutor, like Seren, for instance, and a place for storage, shared place for storage. It could be Google Drive, what doesn't matter. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be something. So something that where we can storage our videos and our material or shared materials.
Okay, so we need a room, a permanent room for us, for the coordination, organization, and we need each day in the afternoon of the previous day, the link for the session with the students, the official link for share for what we need to do, for the meeting in the before the day before. So always previous in the afternoon, no? Because well, it's okay.
I think that it's permanent also for, it must be permanent also for the students.
Okay.
Because it cannot be every day receive, you know. We already talk about a place where they can meet even independently.
Yes.
And a place for the students only independent, no? For
yes, at this point, Jana, I would be happy if they can set something for the let's say for the plenary session and for the storage, because I think that we can leave to our students and their ability to connect. Maybe if I can, tomorrow morning I will go during the plenary session to ask to all the students to show up, really show up, okay? So that they can really share their faces with each other. And because I think that they do not have any contact, even, I don't know, that they do not have any contact. So maybe they can arrange, I will invite them to arrange by their own some spaces.
Yeah, maybe a WhatsApp group or whatever they want.
Yeah.
So you're calling plenary sessions the lectures, no, Paola?
Yeah.
Okay. Links for plenary sessions. Okay. With some previous time. Okay. And place for storage. Okay.
Yes,
I will write right now.
Because we need to. I mean, I don't know how many people are in Poland. I mean, in Krakow. It seems more than 5, but for sure, Jana and I, we need a lot of time to organize our teams. So,
Paola, here we have in the left hand in the screen we have a place where we can upload presentations or documents. I even seen that Lucia uploads something here. Maybe this is the place that we can share the documents. I don't know. I'm asking because I have no idea.
I think no.
No?
No.
No.
No. The problem is the right. Because here you have the same menu as, because for instance, what I'm doing is to connect myself on the, let's say, on the, by browser. And when you connect by browser, you have a limited, I think, with Teams, you have limited rights.
Oh,
I don't know if
I'm with the browser too, but I have like activities, chat, Teams, and documents.
Yes, but when I'm going to.
You can't upload them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But
we have no
also
permission.
when it goes to chat, it goes to my personal one. I mean, not personal. I mean, Paola Rizzi with other people. So where there is the history of my chat with other, not with this team.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's like I don't know. And the emails about the budget are like craziness, because our people from financial, it's like insisting in it's your coordination, it's your responsible, and there's no answer in relation.
No.
It's like going against the wall.
So
I understand. Yes, Paula.
I think that the best is, as we are really proactive, to go ahead with this habit.
Yes.
I'm sorry, because sometimes I feel that I'm really invasive, you know, too much with my behavior, but
no, It's needed.
I organized summer school since 1994. So I have a small experience. And I know how many troubles there are. So I apologize if you feel that sometimes I'm too invasive, but I'm really worrying also that my colleagues that I drag in the program and my students, our students, sorry, Patrizia, and not only all our students can get something from the experience that is not wasting time. So please, I will send to you. So Jana, you will do this. I'm going to send to everybody the program in Word. So you can change as you like, okay? You can change according, because we put what Patrizia wrote about our goals, and there is the gaming simulation, you can leave it because it's a part that I'm doing for everybody. And yes, just do as you like. My suggestion is that we use the red color because it was our color. You can just use your color and do the same. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So we can have.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And Jana, if your student wish to be in touch with us, with Patrizia, with me,
yes,
please just let her know that we. And if she's working in tourism, I have good connection, let's say to her, good connection with a colleague of mine that is working in tourist management in Sardinia.
Oh, okay.
If she needs,
tell her.
we can, maybe it could be something that attract her to work more on the summer.
Yeah, it's true, it's true.
Okay, I'm joking.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Patrizia,
Yeah.
we see in the
other team. Okay.
Grazie. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Goodbye.
Obrigada.
You too.
Ciao.
Thank you.